Lance Blair signing in. To my subscribers, what up? And if you're new around these parts, just stopping by to see how I do things around here, what up, what up? And we gonna start things off. Big shout out to Big Loon. He had Fred Taylor on his podcast. Then he came behind and had B Marsh on the podcast. So we already know a lot of us was, big fans of the I Am Athlete podcast. It came out in 2020, and it just was a great time. A lot of us, we just was stuck in the house, and there wasn't much we could do, so they assimilated a great team, a great cast. So B Marsh, he was like, we all live in the same neighborhood, and we should start a podcast because there's not much we could do in ESPN quality. I know we could produce something better than that. So we went up to Fred Taylor, Channing Crowder, and he went up to Reggie Wayne. So they started doing things, and it just was an instant hit. A lot of people, we gravitated towards it. It was great because we had a chance to see the athletes outside of the helmet, seeing their thoughts and seeing how they interact with just different things, because a football player, they more than just running to somebody full speed, hitting them with their head down, or trying to swim, move, and get around someone. So just to see their thoughts and see, hey, these people regular too, and they experience things just like all of us other people. So, man, as we all know, good things sometimes come to an end. So my thoughts on why I Am Athlete came crashing down. I think Brandon Marshall, I think he's a guy who know a lot, and he's been around the industry. As you know, when he was playing, he was on, sports shows talking, and he got a lot of mentors, so he probably already seen the potential in his mind, like what it could be. Where the other guys, they probably was a little hesitant and not sure, like, hey man, we just talking, because Channing, he come from the background just speaking on the radio. He been doing it for like 10 years, which I didn't know much about Channing Crowder and him speaking on the radio. And Fred T, he was a person I seen as like, he seemed more laid back, reserved, so I ain't know much about him. So when they all got on this podcast, it was great to see their personalities, because to me, Fred Taylor, he was like the older wisdom type guy. B Marsh, he was just like a person who seemed like a hothead. Sometimes he started looking like he was looking for them viral moments. And Channing Crowder, to me, he was more like that icebreaker. He go have you laughing, where it's just so natural. Something go slip out where it's just gonna be like, dang, he go have y'all rolling. And with his comedy, he can slip right in there and ask a serious question. So I think all these guys brought like a different thing to the podcast that made it a hit. But to me, just thinking of it, I think some transparency. It wasn't transparency, so it was hard to make this thing keep existing, because I heard Channing Crowder, I heard Fred Taylor say something along the lines, let me know what you want me to put up, and I will match that and my sweat equity, because I didn't get paid. But when I think about it, during that time, 2020, just was a tough time, so B Marsh, he taking on the investment. He said he purchased like $50,000 worth of equipment and all that. And he purchased the $50,000 worth of equipment. He said he hired a social media team. And you just talking about you ready to invest? To me, that kind of looked like you just going with the flow. You really don't know what this could turn into. But to me, it seemed like you seen like the way, the culture, the way we took to it, and now it seems like you coming back like, all right, now I want to invest in. Now I want to, my dollars go match your dollars and sweat equity. But that's not fair. If this guy was the one who put up everything in the beginning, because if this thing fell, if I Am Athlete crashed down to the ground, would you would have came back and gave that man some millions of dollars? Like, hey man, I know it fell, but here you go. Here's some cash for you. So just to say, you was ready to match afterwards, why didn't you just go ahead and get some skin in the game? Be like, all right, I see all these cameras around here. I see the light and all this stuff, all the expenses. Why didn't you just come up and, make a good purchase for you, and you got skin in the game? So it couldn't be, this type of thing where it's like that Brandon knows so much already, where he's like, yo, I wanted to make the initial investments because that's gonna give me leverage over them. This is my thing, you know. I'm really about the House of Athlete, but it looked like he was using House of Athlete to push the I Am Athlete podcast. No, other way around. He was using I Am Athlete podcast to push the House of Athlete. And that's where it seemed to me. So they just seemed like, hey, if these guys don't invest, I'm gonna have more say so. Cause Freddie T even said something about like the way the producer of the show, he found out B Marsh gave up 30% of the show. Then somebody else had 10% of the show. So you already know that's already a big percentage gone, and these three guys gotta split that. That's tough. So I'm gonna play some of the audio just for y'all to hear some of the things that were said.
When I talked to him, makes sense. I just invested $50,000 in equipment.
I deferred my talent fee for sweat equity into the company. My money started from inception, right alongside it. And then whatever else you need, just let me know the number I pay.
See, all right, so on that note, it just made me think about that. Like, all right, I know B. Marsh, he seemed like one of them guys that keep learning, keep studying. So I know he didn't just invest money. He probably just was like learning certain things, reaching out to certain people. So you just want to invest money and have it run side by side, that's good. But this person putting time in different places where money can't be bought, where he going out, getting mentored by the best people, reading these books and getting all this great information, that's not fair to him. That's like saying, hey, Microsoft at this great price, and I could have got in back in the day when it was so low, but then it turned out to be a crazy high stock, and you come around and be like, all right, I'm ready to invest. My sweat equity match the homie when he was starting it out. No, he took on the risk, he took on the volatility, so that won't even be fair. But I don't know, I wish these guys could have found a way to come to ends with each other to make this work, because I understand, you know, sometimes with business, if y'all just came to the round table and spoke, because you got to give B. Marsh some credit for assembling you guys, because a lot of us really went and focused on what y'all could do. So this was great for everyone involved, and we got to see y'all personalities, and it grew to a show that we love. And that's what I just think about it, the transparency factor. But how are you going to be equal partners with somebody who took the risk? So how we go split this pie evenly, all sides? If this person put up all the risks, this person got the cameras, this person got the social media team, this person paying probably for the chefs to be on the show, and y'all just showing up to talk. Nah, that's not fair right there, because I know what happened was he probably was cool with it, like, yeah, these the homies, these the boys. So B. Marsh probably spoke with some of the homies who in that side of business, like, yo, that ain't right. They just showing up to talk, and they think they should be able to split everything down the middle. Nah, because you the one putting in the work behind before we can even get to the camera. You getting things set up. You with this producer, you seem like more hands-on, where these other guys seem like they just sitting on the couch and just talking, but they creating great dialogue. So I wish they could have came together and just sat down and came to some type of agreement, because you look in the comments, which business is business, and I understand that, but if you look in the comments, when the people talk, you could tell who a lot of people was liking, and they all brought something unique to this situation. So that's what I got to say about that. So B. Marsh, he believed in the vision. He was a visionary. He wasn't even making money from the podcast. He was paying everybody else out, like, Chad Ocho, you know, he wanted his fee. And out of everybody, he the most popular. Shannon, he already mentioned that he just wanted to go ahead and get his fee. You know, he ain't want none of that sweat equity. I know I'm bringing the heat. The train going in the background, I'm bringing the heat. You hear it. So we about to resume into another clip.
Shannon been doing a radio show for 10 plus years with his company. $25,000 raise for uncertainty.
All right, so Shannon been doing radio for a long time, But B Marsh, she got connections, so he was able to help him get more, and he was able to go out and fish and, you know, help get a better contract. So I guess he didn't like it the way the buzz down, the numbers was, and it wasn't a right breakdown for them. So, you know, and the culture, we felt the difference when they disintegrated and they went separate ways, because this was just so monumental in the space for sports players, the football players, just to sit down and really talk and really show who they are outside of the helmets. I feel that all of them got valid points, but it's just a tough situation to be in where when I understand, you know, y'all got things going organically, it wasn't like y'all sat and thought, hey, this gonna be a hit. So y'all just started getting things going and it got legs and took off. So by the time it took off, now you're trying to do business. Now people like, yo, I'm worth this much, it's worth. When it looked like at first people probably just wanted to show up, sit down, talk. It was very therapeutic to get around homies and just create good dialogue and have a good conversation. But let me know below in the comments who you sign with. Me personally, it's just, I feel where everyone's coming from. I feel to the point on the business side, B Marsh, man, because if you invested that money and you the one making sure everything worked, things definitely got to be going into your favor. I can't see that things gonna be successful and be like, oh no, I'm an equal partner. You're not an equal partner if you let this person take on all the risk, because it's easy to say, yo, I want to match dollar for dollar when things start climbing up. So if the thing fell, would you really would have gave the man money or been like, that's what you wanted to do? I was on the podcast to help you. You the one who had the idea, so you got to take responsibility for what came with that. But on the other end, I rock with Fred T, and you could tell he very solid and a thorough dude. So you could tell things probably had to irritate him real bad to even have him speaking, because he seemed like one of the guys that just, you know, when things don't work, he just keep it moving. And he still haven't really bad mouth I Am Athlete in a harsh way. He just said it's true. So let me know below in the comments your take on this and who you side with. Until next time, peace.